meaning that as we begin to move on with our careers, I guess most of us are still in high school, or some are also preparing to get university, or we're also still deciding what we want to do with our careers and how best we could make impact. Most of those days when we were growing up, our parents were all actually wanted to be engineers and doctors, but we think that the whole career industry basically have changed, and we now have of course artificial intelligence that can do a lot of things. Do anybody know about ChatGPT here? What do you know about it? This was okay. Who else knows any other AI platform apart from ChatGPT?
Which of these is safest when unsure about the link?
Is that a high? Yeah. So it says ignore it. Which of it when you are sure of a link? Click it to see where it goes. No. If you click it already, you've entered where you don't want to. So if they are trying to get any information from you, that link is dangerous. They will take over your system. They utilize it to take us to the next level. So AI is everywhere, so are also the risks, right? As we are all excited about artificial intelligence, there are also some certain things we all have to be wary of as we continue to grow in your career, and a lot of things that people do with artificial intelligence, especially on what they call the dark web. So where you have to now start looking at, how do we ensure that we use these platforms in such a way that is also beneficial to everyone. So today, we're going to learn how to use AI for success and still safe while doing it. How do we apply AI in our daily lives? How do we use it to advantage? And I think there's also conversations about students, using ChatGPT, using for as you build your future and all that. What you post is very, very, very important. How you present yourself is very important. I watched one video of a guy. What he does is that before companies hire people, they do a background check on you. And what the guy does is that he runs through people's social media, runs through your IG, your Twitter platforms to see your kind of thought process, what's the kind of person you are, and all those information. And of course, if it goes the other way, you will not get the job. And somehow people say I've been putting in applications every time and I'm not getting jobs. I have a good CV, I have a good experience, but you don't know because of maybe you had one drama online, you fought with someone, or you put some unclad pictures, pictures that didn't represent who you are or something, then it puts you in trouble. So as you're young now, as you grow, the internet can make and break you, right? So you have to be so careful about the information you put online. In fact, as you form your identity and decide the kind of person you are, then you use that to start putting out thoughts, the line of places that you want to go. LinkedIn, follow people. If you want to do medicine, if you want to do AI, if you want to look for people experts in this industry, follow them, build your CV, your interest around that, and when the time comes, it will all align for you. So internet safety is still alive at all times. Emails, we talked about it in the game that we played. Data privacy is important. Avoid oversharing personal information. If you're in a particular place, you're putting information out here, details and all that. It can put you at you might not be safe, because anything can happen. So as you're putting information online, your picture, ask yourself a question. This picture I'm putting, this information, is it necessary? What is the advantage to me, right? Am I safe? Are there any personal information around me? The numbers of the car, your home address, and all those things, are they all in the background? So you'll be able to scan these things, and if they are okay, then, but you just don't post pictures because you want to post them. But you post them and being careful to be intentional about what you're putting out online about yourself. So also two-factor authentication is very important, where you put strong passwords and all that. We've talked about that in the game. Smart your think twice before you post, adjust your privacy settings, be intentional, and make sure that the post content aligns with your goals. I've just said that. So this group activity will be probably done later. So thank you all for listening to me. I just want to have about 2 minutes. Do anybody have any questions or anything or feedback? Feedback, then I think we're good. But at least one question would be good. It shows that you guys listening to me.
Any question? Okay.
AI can make our lives easier in the moment, but why should we continue to use it even though it has detrimental effects on the environment?
Oh, I love that. And that's what we do where I work, Ottawa Responsible AI Hub, where we are really advocating that, as we are so excited about artificial intelligence, we should also be very, very careful. Just like everything in life. Everything in life that has an advantage also has a disadvantage. But the idea is, how do we use these things moderately in ensuring that we are taking away the positives away from it and not the negatives. So for example, if you want to create content, right, it helps you to design your content much better, gives you more content advice and all that. So the idea is ensuring that you use it for your own benefit and not using the negative aspect of it. And also, there are always regulatory and policy aspects, which we also say that government and people who are building this system should a bit slow down because of the effect it has on our environment, issues around climate change and all that.
Any other question?
So basically, looking at the effects that AI has on the environment and community, I personally have not, obviously there's pros and cons, but the way things are going, the cons somehow outweigh the pros. And also, there's only so much responsibility that we can, and control that we can have over AI, considering the fact that there's still a lot of bad people out there that can misuse AI.
Yes.
And a lot, like most of the time, we can't control how people choose to misuse, like for like plagiarism and stuff like that. Like, it's really like a lot of people can use it for bad things. So at the end of the day, we need to consider the fact that there's a lot of things that we can't control, and I feel like we should try to reduce the use and also have more just like restrict AI to mostly companies and stuff, because a lot of the things that I get on my For You page, I'm like, if this is the way the next generation is thinking,
It's trouble.
we're really done.
No, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for that brilliant, take and feedback. Because in fact, that's the motivation we have at the Ottawa Responsible AI Hub, and to say that we're pushing to ensure that as we are all excited about what AI could do, the future of the next generation is very important in terms of how these platforms are used and designed. But it's an ongoing conversations, and people like you, could all find a passion in that to advocate to say, but we believe that as we all are growing and AI has a whole lot of positive, addition to our life, we also believe that we want to own our future, and we believe that the industries and people building this should be also be considerate in ensuring that the minds and power of young people, are kind of protected for the future, and not just deploying to make money and having people sign up on this platform, but also start thinking, how do we ensure that it works for public, for everyone, and also basically just what you said, reduce how these platforms are being used, and applied, and kind of put some kind of caveats and restriction and guardrails, to ensure that it's not used, overused, and put into a very bad and negative effect. We keep trying, and we our best, and need young people like you to also put out your voice there too.
Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for Mr.
Of that, because I also find it difficult difficult to really remember numbers, but it's what it is, right? You just have to find a way to keep it safe, right? It's difficult to crack this. So this is the last one. If you suspect a deep fake, what should you do first? Report it immediately, so you don't need to just waste time. You just have to report it on the platform. So who to winner? So team 3.
Team 3.
So we are all winners, but thank you team 3, and I think it's team 1. Sorry, not team 3. Team 1, have a total of 5,652. So we'll go back to our seats and maybe just scan through the presentation and. So the answer is yeah. So the answer is common mistakes, right? So it's talking about sometimes you get fake emails, right? Maybe people that want to scam you, people that want you to click something, right? So that they can maybe get into your account or get into one very wrong link or the dark side of the internet. Most of the time, if you look at the emails, the way it's written, it's not written well. There's grammatical errors, and it's not written professionally. So you could, suspect that there's something really wrong with this. Next. So team 1, we'll go to next. So this is a true or false. Not really, made such transaction, before, right? So, or somebody sending you an email asking you about maybe one payment or the other, and so just have to be safe. What is the safest way to protect against fakes in video call? Now a lot of people that scam people use the fakes, to design some video calls. You might think you're talking to, a real person, but not actually a real person. Yeah, so I think this one can be tricky because you can't ask the person to blink twice because you don't even know who you're speaking to. You record the call. What will you do the call? And I think the idea is to confirm the identity to a Tebe channel, maybe the name for the person. And automatically it gives you those information. And I also think that so it's also a smart system that could learn from data, recognize patterns, and make predictions, and even create new ideas and content. So we are most interested in most of the part is new ideas and content, right? So as we move today, we talk about social entrepreneurship, and part of what Chess is doing is how do we also become ambassadors and good advocates of our community in terms of starting projects, ideas, that will really impact our community, and we could really be, stars, and make our parents proud, right? My Facebook was written, I think, at the age of, 16, 17, and when I wrote that book,